Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Olson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. 75% of adults in the U.S. consider themselves coffee drinkers, and 2/3 of us drink coffee every single day, myself included. Recently, one of my clients mentioned that she quit drinking coffee last month, which surprised me. She explained that she didn't think it was good for her and even wondered if it was impacting her weight. So even though we talked about coffee back in episode 70, I wanted to touch on it again because it's something that most of us drink, and therefore most of us should know more about its impact on weight and health. There's so much research about coffee in the medical literature that I could do 5 more episodes on coffee and bring unique content to each conversation. But don't worry if you're in the 25% of America that doesn't drink coffee, because I've got plenty of other topics lined up for you. I spend a lot of time talking with people about rethinking their drink, especially some of the specialty coffee drinks that are laden with sugary, creamy, chemically enhanced toppings, additions, and pumps of syrup. In recent years, many, especially younger coffee drinkers, are drinking something that resembles dessert. More than an eye-opening, productivity-enhancing plain black coffee. It worries me to hear young women talking about cutting back to only 1 or 2 pumps of vanilla syrup in their coffee. Why are we pumping syrup and adding emulsifiers in the form of shelf-stable almond milk into our coffees at all? I'll tell you why: marketing and a blatant disregard by beverage manufacturers for the health implications of these high-sugar, high-calorie specialty drinks. In 2024, a survey showed a massive decline in black coffee consumption, with only 18% of people drinking their coffee black, which is a 56% decrease from 2022. Just in 2 years, a 56% decrease. By the way, I'm looking at numbers from the U.S. because obviously there are a lot of cultural differences in how people drink coffee around the world. So for the sake of clarity, I'm talking about U.S. coffee habits today. In my group program, one of the first things I invite people to do is to rethink their drink and take a serious look at what they're drinking throughout the day. Coffee has surpassed water as the most common beverage we drink, and with only 18% of people drinking their coffee black, that means most of us are consuming added sugar, fat, and even ultra-processed flavor enhancers, which contribute to weight gain. This is a piece of the puzzle when it comes to the obesity epidemic. 30 years ago, I was doing it too, adding Coffee Mate French vanilla creamer to my coffee, which was certainly a contributor to my weight back when I was much heavier. In case you're curious, let me describe for you the Nestle website that talks about this French vanilla creamer. The big print calls out that it's gluten-free, cholesterol-free, non-dairy, and that it's 2 times richer than milk. Do you want to know what else is in it? Believe me, you'd be better off with milk and sugar. In addition to water and plenty of sugar, it also contains soybean oil, dipotassium phosphate, micellar casein, mono and diglycerides, cellulose gel, carrageenan, natural and artificial flavors, sucralose, a sweetener, and acesulfame potassium, which is another artificial sweetener. This should be alarming to all of us. But before I go down a path chastising Nestle for its Coffee Mate creamers or Starbucks for their Grande Cafe Mocha with its nearly 9 tablespoons of sugar and its mono and diglycerides, carrageenan, natural flavors, potassium sorbate, and citric acid, let's return to the topic of plain black coffee and the debate about whether or not it's good for our health. The short answer is yes. A resounding, enthusiastic yes, 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 plain black coffee is good for us. That's true whether it's caffeinated or decaf, iced or hot, brewed or instant. Although instant and filtered coffee offer some benefits over French press or Turkish coffee. Using a filter removes the diterpenes, which can have a negative effect on our health by raising our LDL cholesterol, our triglycerides, and potentially even our liver enzymes. By the way, one of the fun things about recording this podcast is that I have to learn how to pronounce words I've read many times, but I've never spoken aloud, like diterpenes. It turns out 4 different sources gave me 4 slightly different pronunciations of it. I went with Merriam-Webster's online dictionary. It seemed like a solid choice. Diterpenes. Remember, you want to filter these diterpenes out to protect your cholesterol levels and your liver by making filtered or instant coffee. Before we dive into the many health benefits of coffee, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Haha, just kidding. It's still me, Dr. Lisa Olson, founder of Smart Weight Loss Coaching. If you're as focused on your health as you are on the scale, you're my person. In my online program, we'll help you establish healthy habits for weight loss, better health, and longevity. For those of you who have looked at our website before, you'll be excited to see that you no longer have to commit to a 3-month program to join us. If you'd like to learn more about our affordable monthly membership, head over to smartweightlosscoaching.com.
We're back. Black coffee, which is what I'll be covering now, can help you to live longer, lowering the risk of premature death from any cause. In a study of 200,000 people followed for up to 30 years, which is an amazingly robust study, those who drank 3 to 5 cups of coffee daily compared with non-coffee drinkers were 15% less likely to die early from all causes, including heart disease, stroke, diabetes, Parkinson's disease, and even suicide. Both caffeinated and decaffeinated coffee provided benefits, although for almost all of the data on the health benefits of coffee, decaf may provide a slightly lower benefit. There are compounds in coffee that seem to block disease development by reducing inflammation and reducing insulin resistance. Remember that coffee comes from a plant, and it's specifically some plant chemicals, including polyphenols like chlorogenic acid, that provide these disease-lowering benefits. It's also from the vitamin B2 and magnesium in coffee. What else does coffee do for us? Well, there's a 10 to 15% reduced risk of heart attack or stroke with 2 to 4 cups per day. This improvement in risk hits a plateau around 5 to 6 cups per day and then declines. 2 to 4 cups seems like plenty. It's reasonable. 5 cups is a lot. But wait until you hear the wild numbers for coffee's ability to reduce diabetes. There is a 30% decreased risk of type 2 diabetes with caffeinated coffee, and it's a linear effect. So there's some decrease in diabetes with 1 cup per day, more with 2, more with 3, and so on. That linear decrease in diabetes continues up to 8 cups per day, and maybe beyond that, but the studies I saw didn't go higher than 8 cups per day. It's the polyphenols and minerals like magnesium in coffee that may improve the effectiveness of insulin and glucose or sugar metabolism in the body. So if you have pre-diabetes like I do, listen up. Coffee has a clear, strong, consistent effect of reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes. But please promise me you won't add shelf-stable almond milk or coffee mate creamer to your coffee. If you need to add something, a splash of milk isn't unreasonable. But you'd be smart to avoid the sugar and other flavor enhancers if you're trying to lower your risk of developing diabetes. How about gallstones? A study of over 46,000 men tracked coffee consumption and the development of gallstones for 10 years. After adjusting for other factors known to cause gallstones, the study found that men who consistently drank coffee were significantly less likely to develop gallstones compared to men who didn't. A similar large study found the same result in women. Speaking of women, did you know that coffee decreases the risk of endometrial cancer as well as liver cancer? And according to the American Cancer Society, there's research in the works to determine if coffee decreases the risk of colon cancer. Currently, there's a hint that it might, but the association isn't entirely clear and requires more study. Depression and other neurological conditions are also impacted by coffee consumption. The caffeine intake included in less than 6 cups of coffee per day has been associated with a lower risk of depression and suicide. It lowers the risk of Parkinson's, and it may lower the risk of Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia, though the research on dementia is not as strong as it is for reducing other chronic diseases like diabetes. Coffee may also reduce the risk of metabolic syndrome, kidney stones, chronic kidney disease, and liver disease. One reason some of the data on coffee and health is murky was discussed in a meta-analysis by Ariel Lee and her team back in 2019. They note that a lot of the research on weight and coffee, as well as different diseases in coffee, is confounded by the fact that most studies didn't control for added sugar, sweeteners, cream, flavor enhancers, and so on. These flavor enhancers weren't as prevalent years ago, so it's often not even noted if people are drinking black coffee or coffee filled with ultra-processed ingredients or loads of sugar in these studies. This is particularly true when we look at data on coffee intake and weight. You knew I was going to circle back to talk about weight, right? There's a little data suggesting that instant coffee might reduce food desire and calorie intake in people with overweight or obesity. But other studies have shown no benefit to coffee and potentially even some increased desire for sweets later in the day. In my opinion, reading the medical literature, the jury is out on hunger hormones, appetite, and weight loss related to coffee. But coffee may be modestly associated with lower adiposity, which means less fat tissue. This can mean less fat tissue all over, or particularly around the waist, which has been seen especially in men. But I'm hopeful that we'll get more robust data in women soon. Now, for those of you taking the newer GLP-1 agonists like Wegovy or Ozempic, the GLP-GIP meds like Zepbound and Mounjaro, or the triple G meds that we anticipate hitting the market soon, you might like to know that in the last decade, some studies reported that light and moderate daily coffee consumption is protective against sarcopenia, which is muscle loss that has become a serious concern with these highly effective weight loss meds. We're seeing anywhere from 25 to 40% of the weight people lose on these meds coming from lean tissue, which is mainly muscle. Imagine someone losing 100 pounds on these medications. 20 to 40 of those pounds won't come from fat, but largely from muscle. It's a hot topic right now in my field to figure out how to minimize the loss of muscle with profound weight loss. We know it helps to do resistance training, and it's also important to eat enough protein. I'd love to see a study giving us specific data on whether or not people can preserve more of their muscle on the GLP-1 agonists if they drink coffee daily. We don't have the answer yet, but I'll let you know when we do. While the benefit of coffee for weight management doesn't come close to the benefit from a healthy diet, physical activity, stress management, and adequate sleep, we should still view coffee as part of a healthy lifestyle because it's so effective at protecting us against serious chronic diseases. And this is exactly what I told my client who stopped drinking coffee, thinking she was doing it to improve her health. If she doesn't want to drink it, if she doesn't like it, that's fine. But if she enjoys it, I'd like to see her allow it and to work on drinking her coffee without any sugar or flavored creamers. If you're ready to work on your NBA, your next best action, I have a couple of suggestions. First of all, if you're not a coffee drinker, I don't think it makes sense to push yourself to become one. You'd probably benefit more from an extra serving of vegetables than a cup of coffee that you don't even like. But if you are a coffee drinker and you're having anything other than plain black coffee, would you consider starting to reduce or eliminate some of the sweet or creamy things you're adding? I made the switch to black coffee a few times over the years, and right now I'm feeling great about black coffee during the week and a splash of milk on the weekends. Go ahead and write down your NBA for coffee or anything you'd like to do to rethink your drink. Oh, wait, before you go, I'd like to invite you to sign up for our free newsletter at smartweightlosscoaching.com. In it, we talk about lots of different levers you can pull to lose weight and live longer, healthier, and happier. We're all about happy living too. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.